Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Alton Board of Selectmen meeting on October 28th, 2025. The time now is 6 p.m. Can I have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence?
The United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Do we have any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. If the board wishes, I'd like to move the Public Works Director's memo in the back of your binders from non-public to the consent agenda.
Any other changes?
Make a motion to accept the agenda as,
Amended?
thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda's good. Announcements. The public participation policy applies to all selectmen meetings. A copy of it is on the back of each agenda posted outside this meeting room and on our website. Please be advised that the town clerk tax collector's office will operate with limited hours on Wednesday, October 29th, 2025, and Thursday, October 30th, 2025, due to the majority of staff attending the New Hampshire City and Town Clerk Association's 100th Annual Fall Conference. The adjusted office hours. Wednesday, October 29th, they will open at 7 a.m. and close at noon. Thursday, October 30th, they will open at 12 noon and close at 5 p.m. We kindly ask for your patience during this time of reduced staffing. The decision to offer limited hours was made to minimize disruption while allowing staff to attend this required annual training in accordance with RSA 31-8. We appreciate your understanding and encourage residents to plan accordingly. Moving on to public input, limited to 3 minutes per person on agenda items only. All right, we'll close that real quick. Appointments, we have no appointments,
No
right?
appointments.
All right, let's go right into new business. Solid waste disposal contract. Seth, you're up.
Good evening. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. So we are coming to the end of the 7-year contract that we currently have with Waste Management. We knew that that's over at the end of this year. Did reach out to Waste Management again to look at a new contract situation as well as Casella Waste. I did finally hear back from them. They gave us some numbers. I did look into the difference in us going to there, driving now that we're hauling our own stuff as far as, what it would cost us to haul there versus to where we're going now in Rochester. Drive times are about the same. Mileage is about the same. The only difference is the route of travel. Going up 140 is a lot more hilly than going down Route 11. And I did get a price back from Waste Management for $100 a ton for MSW and demo. The wood, sort of wood that's all going in with demo, would all be going in with demo now, and it is currently. They kind of changed that. Casella would be $131 a ton. Another benefit to having Waste Management would be the glass. So right now we're recycling all our glass. That includes like porcelain, ceramic, coffee cups, toilets, things like that. We are able to get rid of those with Waste Management at a reduced rate, where it's keeping it out of our trash stream or demo stream. This stuff's heavy, so we would be able to recycle it with Waste Management for $60 a ton, which is cheaper than the $100 a ton we pay to get rid of demo or anything else if we decide to put new toilets in there. So,
You feel like Waste Management's the better option, obviously?
I do. We at this point have a long-standing relationship with them. Anytime I've had to deal with them, Pete LaChapelle has been great. When we first switched over to hauling our own, there was an issue on the account, and I was able to call him up, and within 15 minutes, it was all straightened out, and I was able to go ahead. So we do have a good working relationship with them down there. I feel the drive is easier. I feel it's a safer drive in bad weather, instead of traversing 140, all the hills and corners in a, 70,000-pound truck going up and down the hills and stuff. I feel it's gonna be easier on the truck itself. You got a pretty steady grade, you're not pulling a lot of hills,
It's $31 cheaper.
and it's $31 cheaper, a ton, so.
That trumps everything else.
Yeah, it's,
The backup haul rate's more expensive, but
Yeah, but that's
yeah, it's only when we need it.
right, yeah. And so they both did put that in there just to keep, continuity of service if we do have an issue, so.
Yep.
But, yeah. So, that is my recommendation, would be to stick with.
How long's
Waste
the
Management.
how long's the new contract gonna be?
It would be another 7-year
Another 7?
contract, yeah.
So this contract also notes a 5% per year increase as kind of an automatic.
Yes, yeah. They both outline that. The contract with Kinsella as well as Waste Management were 5% a year increase.
Right, Casella, I think, was 5%, or however they may calculate whichever is the greater. So
Yeah.
Waste Management's capped it at the 5%.
Yes, yeah. There is also new this year, actually new as of about a month ago, the solid waste disposal surcharge, which stems from New Hampshire DES. And what that is essentially we're going to pay Waste Management, it'll be a separate line on the bill for $3.50 per ton. And then quarterly, we will be reimbursed that money from the state. And that's just, it's really going after the out-of-state haulers that are hauling trash into New Hampshire, and we're unfortunately just going to be lumped into it, but they're going to reimburse us quarterly for it. So they're saying it shouldn't change our costs any overall, but we will have to pay it up front and get reimbursed for it. And that was, like I said, that's from the state, so that's regardless of Casella or Waste Management.
Whichever one you went with anyway.
Yeah, correct.
What are your thoughts, guys? Any questions for Seth?
No, I'm all set with going back with.
Waste Management?
Management.
Yep.
Just curious, Seth, is the self-hauling routine rolling along without any problems?
Yep, it is. It's been going along great. So we did have a little bit of the end of summer boom, so we're able to keep up with that without an issue. At right now, he's finishing up hauling sometime Wednesday, so I mean, it still leaves plenty of capacity for the truck for the summer surge or holidays. And things have been going great. He's been doing a great job with it.
Have you had to use backup at all?
Nope.
No? It's
Nope.
been all us.
Nope, the truck did go back to Mac the week before last, and it was just for a warranty item. The traction control light kept coming on, so we had that long weekend. We were able to get it down there and got the truck back and never skipped a beat, so.
Good.
Good.
Perfect. Worked out great.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve an additional contract with Waste Management for the next 7 years in accordance with the terms and conditions presented in our package here this evening, and that we authorize the Public Works Director to act as the signing agent or the town manager to act as the signing agent.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Seth.
Thank you, Seth.
All right, we'll go right into old business, the dental plan discussion. Hey, Laura.
How are you? So you already voted on the dental plan. It was the life and short-term disability. So the only difference is the life. I was asking to increase, and that's what you were going to review and come up with a decision whether you keep it at 30,000 or go to 50,000.
Insurance?
Yeah, I still think we should leave it where it's at. Let's get through this budget season and see if we can get a real budget going again. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, and particularly after going through the first few budgets that we received by email, it looks like our average increase is probably driven by the fact that we've been default budgets for 2 years are substantial, and we're going to really have to bite the bullet to avoid a third year's default budget.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Do you-
agree.
Do you need a consensus, or you want to vote on it?
I want to know if we can switch to the standard for them as well. Right now, we have MetLife, so we can keep the benefit the same, but switch companies, if you're okay with that.
Yes, that was your
Okay.
recommendation, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you need a vote for that, or just a general consensus, Brian?
No, general consensus, we're not expending any money,
Good.
so.
That
Okay.
was
The
easy, Laura.
consensus
Thank
is
you.
We stay with the same coverage levels and just switch to the standard. All right.
Okay. That
Thank
was-
you.
That was quick. All right, number 2, budget presentations. Who are we going with first?
Try to get the department done faster.
That's everybody.
But, yeah, but it's not, because there's a bunch of them that I'm presenting that be fine, so let's start. Jesse, you want to jump up first, do planning? And then we'll go Parks and Rec, water.
Oh, leaving the
Dave?
PED for last.
Well, sit through.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, Jesse. Give me the rundown.
All right, so this year, trying to compensate for the default budget over the last couple of years. Our major increases are in wages. Let's see. Dues and fees, meetings and conferences, that went up just slightly. Pretty much everything's status quo. I did increase postage.
So postage, you decrease reference materials.
Yeah, reference material. I stopped ordering one particular item. We don't use it in the office, and I couldn't justify the cost, so I did take that off.
And then the general expenses.
Yep, general expenses, our GP and notaries need to be renewed. Advertising, I just added on an additional $100 on that, because that tends to get expensive. That's pretty much it. Pretty small increases.
Did you guys have any questions for her on this budget?
No.
No?
No, it looks pretty straightforward. I have one comment. I'm probably going to drive everybody nuts here, but, and again, as I say, as I look through the first few budgets, it really took the wind out of my sails, and I wonder if we could, early on, get the best estimate of what the overall town budget will be. Because I've seen instances in the past where we approved individual department budgets without any issue, and then when we got to the bottom line, we said, oh my God, and it was very difficult to back up and find anything to reduce. I know that number would not be available tonight, but hopefully we could get it in the near future before we go too far down this road and then discover we're looking at a 10 or 11% overall tax increase that would not pass.
Would you be okay with getting an accurate estimate of what we've approved after tonight for the following meeting to see where we're at where we'd be at currently after tonight?
Yes, I think that's the best we can do, because I'm sure that estimate's not, well, I shouldn't say this, maybe it's not available, I wouldn't think, this evening.
No, it's not. We're gonna be, I mean, rough estimates right now, we're gonna be in the 15 to 18% range. But we got, that percentage number isn't gonna be all-inclusive of what it includes, because you gotta remember, $400,000 plus insurance and benefits is going into the fire department's budget based on approved
New
positions.
Positions.
So that alone is gonna drive the overall percentage, just in raw data. It's gonna skyrocket it, so we'd have to kind of pull that out and get an idea, but we are, I mean, just in wages alone, over the last 2 years of default, we're probably, give or take, 12%, maybe 12, just in wages. Would you agree with that, Laura? Rough numbers, just in wages, 15%.
You could get for us for the next
Yeah,
meeting?
yeah, no, we'll work on getting those numbers and analyzing them with you, for sure. But just giving you sort of a broad stroke overview, but one thing, Mr. Shea, as well, that we, obviously, I plan to talk to the board about, and we hope to, one of the only ways that we're really gonna be able to offset this is paying down quite a bit with the fund balance, because we still have $741,000 from FEMA that never got applied last year. So the 741,000 that is only from reimbursements from all the flood damage that we ate through our operating expenses in the road reconstruction fund. So that could easily go back in and then probably look at possibly another 300,000 on top of that, which will hopefully keep that jump rather steady, rather even keel. And then go into the reval year, which will make up the difference, so the tax rate won't start jumping on us. That's what we're trying to hopefully do overall. But I can definitely get those numbers for you for next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you,
Well,
sir.
thank you, I appreciate it.
Sure.
I think we got our work cut out for us.
You.
We do.
All right, I will make a motion, we accept the Planning/Zoning Department 2026 budget.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Jesse.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, we'll go to Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Is it in there?
Yeah, that's right here. I have it in. You have it?
Oh, right. Missing something?
Is this a different one?
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Oh, there it is. Oh, participation numbers, okay.
That's just something you can look at later if you have any questions.
All right.
Start with, you think the hot topic issues are?
Sure. The increases that we have over the default budget, which was 2023, were the wages. That would be the full-time wages and the buyout wages. Those are the only two increases. There is a significant decrease in the part-time wages, which was the lifeguards being removed from the budget. And there were some other decreases, which was office supplies, postage, new equipment, and uniforms.
Pretty even keel, except for that. Then the common trend was the wages.
Right, the wages. And also, this budget is less than the budget that was presented last year. We had a new hire, and it was about $2,000 less for them because of the person before that was here almost 5 years. So it is lower than last year.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was pretty straightforward. Did you guys have any questions about our budget? Mr. Carter?
Nope, no questions down here.
No questions from the far end.
Okay. If you find that you have any questions, please call or email. I'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I will make a motion, we accept the 2026 budget for the Parks and Recreation Department.
Second.
Oh,
Do you
whoa,
mind putting
pump the brakes.
Just add the title into that motion. I mean, not the title, the total.
I did not add the last one for the planning board. Is that gonna be, should I go back and do that?
Yeah, just for the record.
Yep, we'll do this first.
Yeah.
All right, so that operating budget at a total of $141,204. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. I'd like to go back and amend the Planning/Zoning Department approval, and I'd like to add the total of $157,510.
Second.
All those in favor, we'll just do it again.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. Water?
Hello,
Evening.
how are you?
Hey, Courtney.
Okay, so, my budget was pretty much flatlined, completely, except for the health insurance. There was a significant increase. It went up $44,500. So my budget is showing a $59,486 increase, basically just from, the Medicare insurance, New Hampshire retirement. I can go line by line if you want, or, so basically the health, dental, retirement, and workers' compensation are the property liability insurance and FICA are the only increases on my budget.
Avoidable increases.
Just to remind the board, her budget is the only one that has independent, we have a benefits budget for the entire town. But
We do
because
not.
water is a different entity, she has to budget separately for all of her benefits in there. And that's why you don't see those reflected in any other budget besides water.
And I had planned on coming in for barely any increase at all, but I don't get the insurance numbers till after my budget is prepared. So it was just as much of a shock to me as it was you. So we're going into it together. So it's,
The unavoidable increase.
yes,
Nothing you can do about that.
Are those rates experience rated?
I have, that's a Laura
Are the rates
question.
what? I'm sorry, what was that?
Experience rated, like the workman's comp rate? Or are they set by the state automatically, or?
There's, the rates aren't set by the state. They're set by the carrier, by Primex, by our pool, our risk pool. Yeah, like, all the property liability and stuff like that comes in through the risk pool through Primex. They set the standard rates and send them to us at the beginning of the month of October.
Okay.
And then health insurance, obviously, that's based on, she's under the same governance as our policy as a town.
We had a switch from last year to this year. We had one single and one family, and this year we have 4 employees enrolled in the plan and 3 are family plans, so that was the biggest jump.
Yeah, makes for a big number.
Yep.
And actually, the jump is not as significant as I would have expected.
No, but it's, with a budget like mine that's self-funded, that's a huge, huge increase for me. I've never come to the board and asked for $600,000 before, so
Everything's going up.
I'm gonna be asking a lot of you guys in the future.
Do you have any other questions?
Is there anything in here that won't be covered by receipts from the water customers at all?
Anything that will not be covered?
Yeah.
No, we don't receive any tax money.
Okay. I think we're all aware of that, but it always comes up as a deliberative session question. And so anything that we can do to emphasize to the public that the water users pay the entire cost of the water department will probably be helpful.
That is written in the Warren article itself, and prior to voting, I always post it on our Facebook page, but you have, many more people voting on the budget as a whole, and not all of them experience the water, so.
Thank you.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Nope.
Good. I will make a motion, we approve the 2026 budget for the water department at $600,916.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks, Courtney.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're up.
Oh, we're going after him now?
We're going after him. Well, you guys are all warmed up now.
Bring it on down.
How come it takes 2 of them?
He did bring- Are you walking your car by yourself later? We'll see you in the parking lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's just a spreadsheet.
So you'll see.
You have
with
an
the
extra
ma-
one of those?
Yes.
She's looking at the cross back there. I was getting the nod from the back corner.
So you'll see that the majority of the increase for the budget is, of course, in the payroll, which is the largest portion of my budget anyway. We're still trying to catch up on those particular lines. If you recall, last year, I presented an opportunity to fund a full-time SRO position. That position would be reimbursed through the school year, through the school district. So it marginally impacts my salary line for just those summer months. That was basically, the impetus for that was the retirement system reducing the number of hours that retirees can work. So when we sort of initially created that position, it was kind of a nice niche, but now we don't have enough hours to actually cover the school. And then even if we did sort of try to stretch that, we get no impact from that employee in the summertime when we need him. So it's a fair way on our side that we can, it's roughly 17,000, I think we'd cover salary-wise, and the remainder of that would be covered through the school. And we also ensure that we have the coverage, and we're not depleting our patrol staff the way we are right now to keep that coverage going. So you'll see in relation to that, I was able to reduce the number of hours, both in the part-time line and the overtime line. Not huge cuts as far as dollar amounts, but we did reduce the hours. So we were budgeted for 1,500 hours on part-time. I reduced that to 1,000. The overtime line, I reduced from 1,400 to 1,200. That I think will be manageable for us with that full-time help in the summertime versus trying to sort of pick and use between those two budgets. But I feel confident that we'd be able to meet that. You'll see line 32 is the holiday pay. If you recall, we had a change from 8-hour to 10-hour days for the holidays. We also added a holiday, and none of that has been reflected in our budget yet. So that's why you see that significant jump. We went from 88 hours per officer to 120 plus pay raise. So that's why that number is significant. You'll see there's some marginal increase there in dues and fees. That's just to catch up that we haven't been adjusting for. You'll see grant funding is set by highway safety. So that's the contract we already signed for. Basically, we put that into the budget to offset that cost to us. As you go down, contract services, same thing. I'm reflecting increases in costs across the multiple dimensions. You'll see it in the budget report, the explanation, the breakdown of each of those categories. And as you head down, we have fleet expense and tires. I'm going to let the lieutenant talk about it. He's kind of the point man for our cruiser fleet program, so I'll let him sort of explain what we're thinking on that one.
Won't get too wordy, but recommendation for the fleet expense was 12,000 coming from 10,000, so a $2,000 increase. That 12,000 still being below the three-year average, but our hopes on that, we have the 3 new cruisers, and our hopes is that we pegged off some of the high dollar repairs, and we always do have that revolving account as a safeguard. So marginal increase on that, and we're trying to be conscious of not blowing up that budget. Similarly with the tires, going from 2,000, that's been flatlined for a number of years, to 3,000. That equates to roughly 5 sets of tires. So tires every other year, given the emergency driving and things of that nature, isn't all that ambitious. So justifications for those 2 increases.
When is the projected year for another cruiser replacement?
So part of CIP discussion was to request a new CRF for police vehicles. And so the plan was to put 40,000 this year and then 40,000 next year. That would put me at 80, which depending on how, it basically allows me to have kind of 2 pots to pull from. So hopefully that would be enough to potentially even buy 2 cars if we continue to fund all the equipment out of the revolving account. And so the idea is that gives me a little cushion because of the fluctuation with the revolving account, that it can't stay super consistent with that. This year was a healthy year. So I thought it was a good plan. It was sort of suggested. We were kind of thinking along those lines too. I think that will alleviate sort of that problem I've been feeling of, like, we don't have a good year of details, our whole process for replacing cars gets all out of whack. So this will be a nice sideline thing, and if we have good years, we may not have to fund the CIP for a particular year, so, so it's kind of a two-pronged attack now that I think will, again, mitigate the impact of the cost of the cars on the citizens, particularly for the equipment. So that's the plan right now, is to do that 40 and 40, and then at that point, in 2 years, to figure out what our next stage would be.
If you don't mind, I just want to add this for the board, if you get questions out in town as to why we're going back to a CR for vehicles. For those of you who've been around for a while, we used to allocate money to CRF for police cars, or we used to put a warrant article for one full police car outfitted every year. We switched that when we went to the fleet leasing program and funding it out of there. But the big determination, without getting into a big discussion about it, I just want you to know that when we made that swap, a police cruiser purchased, not outfitted, but a police cruiser purchased at that time was $23,800. The cars that he just bought, what, 54?
Yeah, 54.
54, that's why it can't survive right now, because we've had over 100% increase in cruiser purchase of what they cost, and there's no other option out there. So I just thought that was significant for the board to know that for discussions out in town and stuff, that 50%, there's nothing that the revolving fund, even if it stayed as healthy as it was all the way through, I don't think could survive 100% increase in cruiser costs.
Yeah.
But
And with that, getting those 3 new cars does alleviate quite a bit of the pressure. And then if over the next 2 years, maybe they do start making some sedans that we could get into that might be a little bit cheaper. So I'm hopeful for that too. So we're feeling good now. We able to get those 3 cars going, and having this plan in place, I think, is going to help us to get a good program in place, which is kind of what the whole idea was to do.
Dodge did bring back the Hemi, so hopefully they'll offer PI Chargers here shortly again.
That's the rumor. We just haven't seen it.
That's what I
We had one
heard
dealership
that.
kind of say, oh yeah, they're coming, and we never have
Yep.
pricing, so we'll wait to see how that turns out. So carrying on, I'm at line 214 with the fleet fuel. That's on a 3-year average, we use about 10,000 gallons. I used 315 as a rough price to allow for some fluctuation. We've been averaging in the mid-2s through the state. But I feel confident that we're not going to run out of funds for that. I think that'll still allow us some cushion, but a reasonable reduction for us. And line 269, the bulk of that line has been our Celebrite technology. It's a software program that allows us to dump the cell phones, which, as you can imagine, are involved in almost every case now. So we invested in that. I had a few details. They've been steadily increasing on me for the last few years, and now the current system that we have has gone obsolete. We have to go on to this next version, and there's setup costs and additional costs, right? So to give you a picture of this, we started in 2021 at $3,700. 22, it was $3,741. 23, it's $4,880. 24, it's $6,450. This year it's $6,900, and next year it's $10,240. Now, we're told that that's because of setup charges and stuff, and they expect it to come back down closer to $8,000 for the next year. I asked Adam to investigate other options. There's basically 2 companies, and they're doing the same thing. So, they say it's because it costs so much to stay up with emerging technologies and the new phones and all that stuff. So we're sort of beholden to that pricing. I find it to be a very valuable tool for us, but I don't like the fact that we get this price increase. So it's in there. That's the bulk of that. Other things that come out of that line are, like, we're going to destroy some of the drug evidence that we've had. So we pay, it was Wheelabrator, I think they're a different name now, but we have to pay for that disposal fee and other evidence collection equipment and that sort of stuff. So the bulk of that is just the Celebrite software. And then we have in 303, the electricity line, that's based upon a 3-year look back on our average usage. And I think we can comfortably reduce that to the 8,000 and still be able to keep the lights on. line 304 is the building fuel, same thing, just look back on the actual amount we've used. We have a set pricing, so that's how I determine that factor. And that is it for the major changes on it. I certainly would entertain any other questions in any of the lines you want to. I'm hopeful that spreadsheet kind of just at least calls attention to the ones that I did make the changes on. I guess we're open
Do you
up to
see any
discussion.
major issues with building expense, or the,
So, we have the $5,500 in there, which is, generally speaking, enough to do the day-to-day type things. And we have that CRF that we've been funding. I think we're putting 20,000 in this year, which will get me to 30. Makes me feel a little better that if the HVAC system goes, we have some support there. So in the background, we are setting money away, for that rainy day thing. And then the day-to-day type stuff, we're able to cover it with that 5,500.
thank you.
Good, okay. Gentlemen, do you have any other questions?
No, I think you've done a good job of controlling what you can control in this. Well, appreciate it.
You have done a good job, gentlemen. So I'll make a motion, we approve the 2026 Police Department budget at $1,586,715.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes. Thanks, guy.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, just in case there's any more questions. Actually, I'll go right into that first. Yeah, we'll go right into it now. Gentlemen, if you don't mind, let's jump to legal. As soon as I can find it. Oh, there it is. What did I do with it? A one page. Oh, yeah, one page. You recall, we had a discussion about this last meeting with the chief, because the big jump, I level funded everything in the legal line except for the police prosecutor. This was the discussion we had about the jump in legal fees based on the addition of body worn cameras and the prosecution and evidence discovery needs that the prosecutor has to be responsible for. The board did, at that point in time, provide a consensus to agree to the increase based on a 5-year fixed contract. So what we did is we did have a contract drafted. It is on the table here in front of you. Was that where? They all have it, or just me? Oh. Right there, okay. So the highlights, everything in this contract consistent with the years past. Obviously, the difference is compensation is up to the 6,000 monthly, which reflects the total 71,000. Is that what it was? 72. But if you see, the term is January 1, 26 to December 31, 2030. The important thing to know about this contract is it can be retracted and voided with 30-day written notice by either party. So though he's committing to this contract and this price, we are not locked in if for some reason our funding falls through and things start going downhill, if we need to seek other means or ways to get the same thing done. We are not bound for 5 years by this under the terms, but he is putting it into a 5-year contract as promised to lock that rate in, which, I mean, based on the 12 years of experience with the prosecutor, things have gone pretty well. I can't imagine that there would be too many issues here. And under number 7 is the termination language.
We already talked about this anyway. Did anybody see an issue with this contract?
Nope. So,
All right. No more questions.
So with that, the contract, first of all, going to the budget, does the board have any questions on approving this budget? Like I said, the only change reflected is the legal prosecutor. Everything else is level funded.
nope, I'll make a motion to approve the legal expenses budget for $145,418 as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Now,
Thanks, Chief.
if you don't mind, while we were on this topic, if the board has no concerns with the contract as written, you can see the prosecutor already signed it. If the board is content, this doesn't go into effect until January 1, but if you are comfortable making a vote to approve the contract, I won't need to bring it back in, next month.
You just want a motion to approve it?
To approve it as presented.
Yep.
Thank you.
So moved. All right, second.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Which one are we doing next?
Let's go to the administration budget. So with the administration budget, the highlights, what you're gonna see is it's wage-based driven. Everything else going through the lines has been level funded. I mean, the main reason for that obviously is trying to tote the line where I could. But between wages, you got selectmen, treasurers, trustees, plus full-time staff, all wrapped into this budget, over 2 years' worth of, defaults. That's what we were left with.
Anybody have any questions about this?
No, it just hurts.
It
It
does.
does hurt,
It
yeah,
does.
no question about it, but.
Drew? Not Drew. Mr. Shea, any questions?
No, one thing I'm pleased to see in everybody's budget, despite inflation, most line items are level funded. So that kind of indicates people are making an effort to, wherever they can, to control the expenses.
I agree.
Certainly, that was lengthy discussions at department head meetings, talking about toting the line where we could, and just concentrating on the areas that we really just didn't have control over, or areas that are gonna affect retention, basically.
I will make a motion, we approve the 2026 administration budget for a total of $465,946.
Second.
Sweet, all right, that was quick.
Aye.
Third.
I guess all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we got
Aye.
that.
Let's go to the building department budget. So the key areas in the building department budget is that, one, we have payroll increase for full-time wages. But the addition of the 28,392 to part-time wages, that was the part-time building inspector that was approved through an independent warrant article this year. That has been added into the budget. That entire line is completely new. The other significant issue was, we did have a bump in training and conferences, and the reason for that from the default was that over the 2 years, the Building Inspectors Association and their conferences for continued education have just gone up, the cost. The other discussion, obviously, is there's a bump in travel expense, from 150 to 3,000. What that is based upon is with the addition of the part-time building inspector, they have taken over most of the field inspections, while Norma focuses her expertise on permit approval, and of course, she's bogged down with code violations that she's trying to sort through. So the part-time building inspector has taken on the bulk, if not all, for the most part, of the field inspections. As part of that, we've been paying mileage, given the fact that he is a part-time building inspector, and if we give him the town vehicle, there's some concern about the fact that maybe bouncing from time working for the town and his personal time creating conflict. And that was the reason for avoiding that, obviously. Mm. Lab fees we reduced, we didn't, it's not that we were doing less testing, but we haven't had to, bump it up lately. Did have a reduction in printing and signs. Small increase in, uniforms, which is just having, shirts and apparel that identify building inspectors, so that they do show up on a site. Contractors don't throw things at them.
They still might.
They still might, yes, but, we did reduce fuel, based on the mileage increase. So those are, happy to answer any questions you have. Those are the highlights of that budget.
Do you know, Ryan, have some feel for our total income from building permit fees?
Do you have, revenue from fees?
Yeah.
Laura, I'm throwing that one to the back corner. She got her laptop.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we'll keep going, and
Okay.
she'll spit it out when we get there. I will tell you that it pretty much almost self-funds the budget, but with the amount
Exactly
of building permits we have
my
right now.
point. Because I think it'd be important for the public to know that.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Any other questions, guys? Entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the 2026 building department budget for a total of $152,127.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed is me.
Opposed is you?
Yep. All right, the ayes have it. It does pass. And the last one.
No, there's
Well,
a couple
No?
Oh, we got one
Don't,
here.
don't jump the gun.
This one? Which one am I?
Elections.
Elections
And
and
town
town
clerk.
clerk, yep.
All right, we'll go into, the town clerk first, or you want to do elections first? Let's do
No,
it.
I don't, it doesn't matter. We
Might
can
as well
do
do-
town clerk, tax collector. She's not here.
She had a conflict tonight, so I said I presented, there really isn't any big highlights that aren't easy to discuss. So obviously, we're dealing with wages, full-time wages. The jump on part-time wages, again, was an approved warrant article from last year for a part-time assistant position, which we hadn't filled. And the reports that I've gotten back has been working out well. There's some training going on, obviously, and we get them trained up, but that would obviously help fill some voids down there.
Heard the same thing, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Office supplies, she decreased where she could. Office supplies, a small, postage is a small decrease. Reference materials went up $11. Dog licensing, a $10 increase. Copy machine, you see that jump in the copy machine because the The clerk's office shares the copier, the commercial copier with the building and planning offices. And we did not reflect that in the years past, going back 3 years. It was all absorbed in the smaller departments, so for more transparency, we broke that maintenance bill up because they all pay a separate fee for the use. The problem is it's never been reflected in this budget because we were on default for 2 years, so. That isn't a new cost, I guess is what I'm getting at. Redemption is, tax deed lien process. That is the company you'll see next meeting. There'll be a renewed contract for the services that we contract with to do title and deed search and tax lien processing for the town.
Isn't that all compensated? Don't you get,
Essentially.
you get the money back on that?
On some of it, yes. I mean, well, eventually, it's a long process, because we got a lien 3 years in a row, then tax deed.
Yeah.
And then it would have to be sold at auction, but yes, any fees that we keep track in the file of all fees absorbed by the town, and those are all added into what the town can keep at auction.
Yep.
I had a question on the postage, because that basically is stayed level funded, but I thought we went to all e-statements and,
Yeah, there was supposed to be a reduction there, I thought, as well. Because she had us approve that, all the online stuff.
Right, and she did take away, the new dog posted, but I think that's the only reason why she's being able to level fund it, because since the default 2 years ago, we've had a 19% increase in postage. So for her to keep it level funded, that actually is reflecting the increase. The decrease from her efforts to reduce postage and keep it the same despite the cost increases over the last 2 years.
Any other questions, gentlemen? I would like to point out that, we've approved quite a few budgets here this evening, and all people, all departments, department heads have been here as we asked of them last time. So pushing forward, if one of the department heads is not here for one of their budgets, we should postpone it and wait till they're here to answer questions like that. I understand what she told you. But pushing forward, the department head should be here for the budgets. This is an extremely difficult time for everybody in town, and the department head should be here to present their budgets. On that note, I will make a motion, we approve the 2026 town clerk tax collector budget at $213,843.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Motion passes.
Appreciate it.
Used to be.
Last one is election and registration. One of the big issues here is this year we only have one election, next year we have 3. This is also something that has to go into the default by law. So the increases, reflecting moderator cost, the supervisor's wages, postage. Everything really reflects the increase. General expenses, for election workers, that went up because of the 3 elections.
Yeah, we have no choice in any of these anyway, right? It's all,
Printing and sign, she did reduce that one though.
The only one went up is new equipment.
Yeah, it's new equipment, yes. So new equipment, what this reflects is, this is the purchase of the, what do they call them now? The e-poll poll books.
the check-in, right?
Yeah, it's the check-in books, the tablets with the street check-in. Some of the other local towns, like New Durham is using them. The moderator, along with the clerk's office, they did several demos and went through. And they feel very strongly on the recommendation of all the parties involved in the research that This is a significant step up in our ability to run our elections a lot smoother, especially with all of the scrutiny over election processes right now. So this was brought to me. I had them put it in the book, in the budget, because I don't think that we can find the money somewhere else right now. So obviously budgeting and under new equipment, it's gonna be a decision as to whether or not, I think it's an important piece of equipment.
I did the check-ins, and I think you guys have had to do it too, and it would be a lot easier with those.
I went to a couple of the demonstrations. It was very impressive. But I wonder, should this be a warrant article or part of a regular budget?
Well, I think, I think the overall cost falls more in the threshold of new equipment under a line. We don't usually put warrant articles out under $20,000. I mean, not to say you can, I guess you could do whatever you wanted to, really.
Just looking for whichever way would most likely get it to be accepted. And I don't know which way would.
What's the ongoing cost for these things as well?
Yeah, the
It was
maintenance,
$300 per,
50, yeah, 300 per unit.
there's 5 of them.
There's 5 of them. If you look in the comments down below, it says support.
$300 per unit, and that's per year?
right,
Yes.
because they actually have to reprogram some of the stuff every year to match the election criteria.
Well, that's another $300 per election, the programming at 3 of those, but not 5.
Oh, no, I think it's the unit, the program per unit that is the cost, but I'm not 100% certain.
No, that's an annual fee, not per election. I apologize, but
The support part of it?
is an annual fee.
But why in the programming is it 300 per election, but only for 3 of them?
Well, I wasn't talking about the programming. I was talking about the support, the subscription, the support. That's the ongoing cost, but the programming, I guess they do have to do some sort of programming per election with specific data information.
But why only 3 instead of 5?
Because I think we're only,
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was 3 of the
Oh, is that what-
units.
I didn't know what you were
I
asking.
thought it was 3 of the tablets. Any other questions, gentlemen?
So on
Keep seats.
just, so on top of this, I mean, it's well over $2,000 a year just to
Maintain.
maintain these things until they're obsolete in a few years and not supported any longer, and you need to buy the new ones. I'm not in favor of this. I get it that occasionally the lines get backed up at registration, but I don't think that's keeping people away from voting. I think we should be scrapping that $12,500 purchase.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna table this until we can figure out, like you had said, so who's in charge of this of that system? Who would be in charge of that? Jen's in charge of that?
Yeah.
Where would for next year, where would that maintenance fee come out of?
For next year, it's in here. That 12.5 includes the
But
maintenance.
pushing for the following year, would it come out of the same, it wouldn't come out of new equipment, right? It's gonna go somewhere else?
It would go under contracted services right
Okay.
above.
Okay.
Because right now, our annual support cost for voting works is out of contracted services.
Gotcha.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I would move that we table the election and registration budget for consideration at a future meeting.
I agree. I'll second that. Do you need a vote for tabling it? Or just table it?
No, it's just a consensus, but if you want to move it forward and just take it out, you can do that
I don't,
too.
I want to completely remove it yet.
Well, the reason I'd like to see it tabled is because I think Jen has more our town clerk has more information about benefits than I can provide, and probably than anyone else here can provide. And perhaps ultimately we'll conclude that it's not worth the cost. It's certainly not a great year for budgets, but I'm sure she would have some input that might help us to make the correct decision.
That's fine.
Agreed, yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we'll table election and registration.
Oh, you made a motion to table.
Yeah, I thought I asked and you said we didn't have to vote on it. Well, let's vote on it.
Well-
Do I have a second on tabling it?
You seconded it.
I did, second.
yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're tabling it. I looked at so many numbers over the last couple days.
Painful.
So many numbers.
All good.
All right, any more budgets to present?
Not this evening.
Thank you, Brian.
Plenty more to present, but just not now.
Not yet.
Yes.
What do you have
What is
it?
that? It's lower than I thought. but-
That is lower than I thought.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Okay.
I think we should review what our fees are.
I have to agree with that. Something we will look at pushing forward, I suppose.
Certainly.
All right, town administrator report. What do you have, Mr. Heath?
But you caught me ready. Actually, I only got two things for you.
One, in your book, there was a notification. I didn't want to just stick it in the read file. I just want to bring your attention in case somebody has any comments on it. What this is a surplus land review. It came in from the Bureau of, I forget what it's called. It's in your book right there. Yeah. what is
Business
it?
and
The
Economic
Business and Economic Affairs. If you look, it's a proposal. They want to utilize some surplus land, and it's not our land. I believe it's through the state. And what they want to do is they want to bring in power to the dam. And the reason they want to bring power to the dam is obviously to enhance their capabilities of monitoring it, in cases of, high waters and floods. Really, this just got put out to the town to comment if we have any comments. So I wanted to bring it to the forefront of your attention. We just need, we don't necessarily need to respond with anything, but, it's up to you folks, how you feel about it, so. And you don't need to decide anything tonight, I was just bringing it to your attention for, like I said, just so you would know to take a look at it and what it is, because we don't get these very often, I don't think I've seen one yet. They've been up here, so. Reading through what their proposal was, it seemed like a good idea. To get full-time power to the Sunset Lake Dam.
It should be there anyway. They could do monitoring from there with that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably something we should take a serious look at.
Yeah, we want to push forward with it. I think mainly it's, we would respond if we had some sort of reservations or concerns. I couldn't come up with anything, but again, I wanted to bring it to your attention in case there was any concerns.
You guys have any problems with that?
Oh, is there any way we can charge him something for it?
Well, the dam isn't owned by us, so. But needless to say, we may not own it, but it seriously affect the town of Alton
Yes,
if
it
something
does.
happens.
For
So this
sure.
would be a great way to be able to monitor that, so I think that's probably a solid plan.
Sure.
Is that the consensus of the board, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
All right, and the only other thing I have for you is, I got a state inspection for the elevator, a week from Friday. Week from Friday at 9 o'clock. They're gonna be here.
Paul is not here, but he would love to hear
I
that.
already told Paul.
You
I
did?
saw him
All right,
earlier
all right,
today.
good,
I
good,
couldn't,
good.
I told him it was gonna be a surprise, but I couldn't keep it from him.
Great.
So hopefully, we've worked out all the kinks and all the bugs, and the manufacturer will be here along with myself, one of the contractors that's been working on the building, and the state inspector. We'll all be here a week from Friday. Trying to get that thing online.
So what, do you do like a ribbon cutting or like smash a bottle of champagne on it or something?
No, we just ride up and down repetitively.
That'll work too. All right, on to selectmen reports and questions. Mr. Carter,
Mr. Carter has nothing.
thank you for covering for me, my friend.
You're very welcome.
Mr. Shea?
Milfoil is wrapped up for the year. The swap shop had a very successful season and closed up for the year. I got from one of the swap shop people a very detailed summary of the year's activities, which at some meeting when we're not struggling with budgets, I would like to present to the board. And the only other thing I had was I wondered, once we get the elevator operable, will we take down the old stairway pile of steel out there, or will we just leave it as a historic monument? Or
The plan is to make sure everything's up and running, kind of run through a, test phase for a few months to make sure that we've worked all the bugs out, so we have a backup. But the idea is they don't make updated parts for that anyway, so if it goes down, it's just gonna stay broken. But the idea is to disassemble it, take the pieces out and store them for right now, not trash it, because it is still operational right now, but the big issue is obviously it's not ADA compliant anymore,
Oh, I
so.
wouldn't think so, yeah. Okay, thank you.
But yes, I'd like to, the idea is to pull the bracketing off the treads and patch the treads, and when they do when they finish the flooring, they're gonna, plug them with wood and sand them down and poly them again to try to restore the luster of that staircase.
I have nothing, but I would like to just say thank you to the department heads to making their budgets again. I mean, this is like the third year. They've done a very good job, so
Very good
fingers
job.
crossed, and they've done a great job just keeping the baseline. So,
I also have nothing new to report, and I second what Andrew said. They did a great job of presenting the budgets thus far. They did an awesome job.
Remember that next meeting.
Oh, God. Approval of the minutes from October 14th of '25.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 14, 2025, public session.
Second.
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. Moving right along, guys. Consent agenda approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Beautiful. We have no discretionary action on requests for appointments. Then I will open it up to public input 2, limited to 5 minutes per person on any governmental town business. Seeing nobody but department heads, I will close public input. We have no non-public this evening.
Andrew?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, everybody.